All right, let's talk about homelessness, not panhandling, which all of you, save for Councilman Scott, have said you want a complete ban on the city. Chairman Scott says he wants a partial ban. In Pinellas and St. Petersburg, the homeless have a serious situation and have been a serious situation there for years. And they've taken some steps to address that. That's not really been the case in Tampa or in Hillsborough County. And to the extent that it has been services provided, that's been the county that's led the way. We've heard all the rhetoric during the campaign that you'll work on this. But what about this? Would you hire a manager for the homeless? St. Petersburg does have such a person, Rhonda Abbott. Other cities do as well. This will go to Rose Ferlita first.
Thank you, Mitch. I took a lot of heat when I was on county commission because I knew we had to do something. I made sure that I compared, and if somebody has something better than we have to offer for our citizens, I will give them credit, and I will duplicate it. I met for a while with Frank Murphy and with Father Morris from Catholic Charities in St. Petersburg and walked the Tent City program. It was great. It was better than what we have. Perhaps maybe it's not the best thing, but it was something in the right direction to make people feel better about rehabilitating and doing some of the things they want to do. I came back here and I was very energized that we as a county commission had to do something. Don't talk about the homeless this week and then go to something next week. I was very severely threatened, for lack of a better word, and was told that if you take the lead and you support Tent City in Tampa, we will do all we can, and some have, so that you don't become the next mayor. You know, my comfort is on how I vote, not what comes my way for the next election. I think that would have been a start. I certainly look forward to doing some more things and working with the social service agencies, but we have to do something. It's the right thing to do, and that was a start for me, and I will continue to pursue that as long as you want me as your elected official.
Dick Greco, about the homelessness in Tampa.
There's well over 10,000 identified in Hillsborough County. It is a serious problem. I tried, when I was mayor last time, to find a place where you could put some of these folks that could get a doctor care or a dentist or that type of thing. Every time you look anywhere near a neighborhood, somebody says, well, I don't want it near me type thing. The panhandling is going to have to stop. It's going to have to stop for everyone. By the same time, we don't want to be insensitive to what we're talking about. Okay? A third of those people have many problems that can't be solved that easily. I was looking at some numbers yesterday that got my attention. The food bank here that operates in 10 counties in West Central Florida feeds 1 million people a month. I was astounded at that figure. 17% of households in this area, in the west coast of Florida, are food insecure. You know what that means? That means they wonder where their next meal come from. Florida's in the top 10 of childhood hunger in the United States. These are figures that are there. We want to not be insensitive. I want to do everything I can to help homeless people. I used to sometimes go sit under a bridge with them and talk to them. I was there when 2 people died once with the cops that had no identification, no money in their pocket. But for the grace of God, that could be any of us. And we have to be sensitive to it. They've got to come off the street along with everybody else. That's not a place for anybody to be. By the same token, hopefully we can find a place where we can deal with many of their problems and not turn our back on it.
All right, thank you, Dick Greco. Councilman Scott, and again, specific programs to help the homeless.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just say that I served on, again, on county commission for 10 years, and the county is your social service agent in this municipality, in this area for things of that nature. On the budget, during the time, I think Raymond Knuckles was executive director, I moved a motion for $100,000 to be matched by the federal government for $1 million. It is programs like that you can do. Coming up on the 24th, the Tampa City Council will have a workshop talking to all of those private providers, okay? The county would be there, Metropolitan Ministry, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, a number of groups that you got to bring together, and you have to work together with these private organizations, nonprofit. Now, I'm a firm believer that government cannot do everything. Government can do something, and things that government cannot do well, they then should partner with the private sector, with nonprofits, to be able to do it that well. We just voted on last Thursday, I think $55,000 to go to the Homeless Coalition to help the homeless. I've been out in the streets and looking at where they live and all of that. I think that we have to provide programs through a lot of these nonprofit organizations. I think the county has to work with us. I think the city has to be a partner in that. I think we have to give a certain amount of revenue to help. A lot of them don't have ID, and so therefore we must set up a system where they can get ID. In order to use the county health care program, they have to have ID.
Yeah.
And so for those that don't have ID, okay, we have to do that so they can get the service.
Thank you. Ed Taranchik, what can Tampa do for the homeless right now?
Not a lot. Tampa is a government. I'm going to go back to your first question.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. $9 billion of property valuation lost. The responsibility for social welfare programs in the Hillsborough County lies with Hillsborough County Commission. I ran for the county commission, served on it with 8 years with distinction, voted to pass a half-cent sales tax to fund indigent health care. There's a countywide ad valorem tax assessed to carry social service agencies. It's the mission of the county commission to deal with issues like homelessness. We cannot have mission creep and do everything else that we need to do as a city. However, I will say this. I would be an active participant in those discussions. I would try to rally private sector sources to it. I would work on siting issues and any things that fall within the domain of the city of Tampa to do. That's one of the problems of government. Someone comes up and says, here's a problem, and everyone runs off to Senate to solve it, and all of a sudden we're bankrupt. There's got to be fiscal discipline. We got to know what the mission is, what we're in business for, and I would frankly say this is a responsibility that falls squarely within the fiscal and legal responsibility of Hillsborough County as the voters have set it up and as the legislature has set it up.
Okay. Bob Buckhorn?
Mitch, I think Ed just answered that question. And I mean, structurally, the city is not set up to deal with social issues. Now, that being said, what Ed said is exactly right. It is in the purview of the county commission to do it. Thanks to his leadership and some others, the indigent health care was passed. That is a widely renowned program to treat those who are unable to pay for their health care services. But I think the mayor has a moral obligation to weigh in, just as all of us have said we will. I think what has made St. Petersburg successful is that Mayor Foster has joined with the county commission, who does provide social services over there. They recognize that it is a partnership, that the homeless don't recognize artificial boundaries on a map. They don't recognize the fact that some street signs in the county are blue and the street signs in the county in the city are green. We have 10,000 of our neighbors and our friends that are in dire straits, some because of the economy, some because they choose to live that way, some because they have mental health issues and alcohol issues and drug issues. And shame on Rick Scott if he chooses to cut those and prohibit us from providing beds for these folks. But by the same token, we have an obligation to use what is the biggest microphone and the biggest pulpit in this community, and that is the office of Mayor of Tampa. We need to weigh in, we need to engage. I think all of us agree with that, and I think you'll see all of us, whoever gets elected, as a partner in that process.